Right. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya 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 Advaita Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Shri Guru Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Padam Dadasi Swapadam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanshya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vihantam Sajidam Sadvaitam Sahadhitam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Ravita Shri Vishakam Vikanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishbhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarunyascha Kripa Sindhurya Evacha Patitanam Pavanajhi Vaishnavi Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Asadi Gaur Bhattacharya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Visadaya Bharata Shri Guru Sundari Suvakta Ras Bihari Bhandra Chakra Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nikayani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Niri Shri Chalam Pangum Yandaya Devi Vikitapan Hundam Shri. So this is, we are now reading Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are on Adi Lila, chapter 9. I will just revise 42 again. So this is a very, very important text. So the title of this chapter is The Desire Tree of Devotional Service and how it's expanded. How the seed was planted and then it's, sorry, I think that's one more. So the seed was planted, then it expanded. So now comes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving instruction to everyone. So it came from who did it come? From who did it come? From the seed. Madhuvendra Puri, right? It came down to Ishwara Puri, and then it came to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made it grow. The seed of devotional service, made it grow. And then Mahaprabhu distributed to everyone, to all his disciples. And here comes a specific instruction by Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bharata bhumite khaila manusya janmayad jarma satha kari kara para udapar. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharatvarsh, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. So this is direct instructions of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is expressed in this very important verse. So that's why I'm reading it again. We had read it last week. I'm reading it again. Although he was born in Bengal and Bengalis therefore have a special duty towards him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is addressing not only Bengalis, but all the inhabitants of India. It is in the land of India that actual human civilization can be developed. Human life is specially meant for God realization as stated in the Vedanta Sutra, Adhyatma Brahma Jigyasa. Anyone who takes birth in the land of India, Bharatvarsh, has a special privilege of being able to take advantage of the instruction and guidance of the Vedic civilization. He automatically received the basic principles of spiritual life. So now Prabhupada will give why in India it is like so easy to develop this self-realization. Why? Number one, Prabhupada says, 99.9% of the Indian people, even simple village farmers and others who are neither educated nor sophisticated, meaning they are not great scholars, believe in the transmigration of the soul. So this is the first point, that if we are to advance in spiritual life, first thing we should believe in the transmigration of the soul. Because if we don't believe, then we are not going to work for the future. We will work only for the present. So what we will do, we will eat, drink, and be merry, because that's before we lose everything, right? So, but if you know there is a future life, then you would want to prepare for it. Second, so they believe in God and naturally want to worship the Supreme Person, the Godhead, or his representative. These ideas are the natural inheritance of a person born in India. Okay? They naturally believe in reincarnation, they believe in God. So like Prabhupada says, throughout the whole world, wherever you will put an Indian, automatically there's going to be a temple. Because that's where he migrates. He will go to a temple. India has many holy places of pilgrimage such as Gaya, Benares, Mathura, Prayag, Vrindavan, Haridwar, Rameshwaram, and Jagannath Puri. And still people go there by the hundreds and thousands. Although the present leader, now Prabhupada speak, this is the natural inclination of the people to go to holy places, etc., etc. Although the present leaders of India are influencing the people not to believe in God, not to believe in a next life, and not to believe in a distinction between pious and impious life, and although they are teaching them how to drink wine, eat meat, and become supposedly civilized, people are nevertheless afraid of the four activities of sinful life, namely illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. And whenever there is a religious festival, they gather together by the thousands. I don't know whether this is true right now, whether the Indians are afraid of these four, sinful activities. I don't know. But one thing for sure, whenever there is a religious festival, they gather together by the thousands. So even if they are leading a sinful life, even then they will still want to come for festivals, come to temples, right? Go on yatra, etc., etc. So it's like be pious and do all the pious activities, and be impious, do all sinful activities, and even then still doing the pious activities. So it's like a tug of war. We have actual experience of this whenever the Krishna consciousness movement holds a Sankirtan festival. in a big city like Calcutta, Bombay, Madras, Ahmedabad, and or Hyderabad, thousands of people come to hear. Sometimes we speak in English, but even though most people do not understand English, they nevertheless come to hear us. Even when imitation incarnations of God speak, people gather in the thousands. For everyone who is born in the land of India has a natural spiritual inclination and is taught the basic principles of spiritual life. They merely need to be a little more educated in the Vedic principles. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says here, Janma Sarthaka Kari Kara Para Upakar. If an Indian is educated in the Vedic principles, he is able to perform the most beneficial welfare activity for the entire world. So, actually, what was coming to my mind, the Prabhupada is saying that as soon as there is a festival, people gather by the thousands. So now Jhulan Yatra is coming, right? And now the temple has to put so much barricades and put lines because it's becoming so crazy. So many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people are coming, right? And I think of Rath Yatra. Rath Yatra was stony. When we had Rath Yatra, it was, isn't it Shikala? It was a big, big storm. And I said, I'm not going for the Rath Yatra. And I was very sorry. I'm not going out. I'm not going. I stayed inside, but that Rath Yatra was packed by the thousands, because they didn't worry about whether it is raining, whether they may fall in a ditch because everything is flooded. You can't see where you're putting your foot, right? And I came and I just stood on my balcony and I watched them. They were all drenched, completely drenched in that, everybody. But they didn't miss the Rath Yatra except for me. I didn't do. You know, so because it's so much ingrained. It's so much ingrained. So I don't know what's going to happen to me now. I have to miss the Rath Yatra. I should go. I don't know. Every year they have it during the rainy season. But here Prabhupada is saying those who are born in India, they will go. It doesn't matter. They will go. I also went to one place, and I see that also in YouTube Yatra. Like we went to this place, I think it's called Galda. There's a place called Galda somewhere near Jaipur. Indradumna Swami took us there.
Galta. It must be Galta ji, Mataji, not Galda. Galta.
Galta.
Yes,
Galta?
Galta ji, yes.
Right, it's near Jaipur, you know? Oh, okay, in Jaipur. So there, so Maharaj Indradumna Swami took us there. So we went, of course, by our bus right there, and it was going. I said, where is this going? And it was just like completely in the wilderness. And then finally, the bus stopped, and then we had to get down and walk. So we walk, and the temple was up, on a hill. It's on a hill. And you won't believe it. I mean, I don't believe it. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people they were there, right? And they say Ganga, I don't know how that works. They say that Ganga also is, there. So it's actually the Ramanandis. It's their temple. It's temple of Ramachandra. So I wonder, I say, nobody can stop, the Indians. So they are walking because I didn't see any vehicle. We took a huge bus and we went. But how they're coming? They are walking from their villages and they are packing up all those temples. So this is what Prabhupada is saying here. So natural inclination, and Prabhupada is saying that just like, my helper, she just told me it's 7 months I'm going on yatra. Now what could I say? And for me, there is big Janmashtami festival going on. There is so much service. You know, we are so busy. And she told me, I'm going on yatra for 10 days. So what could I say? How to let her go, right? She's a very simple lady, but she wants to go on her yatra. Even in Mauritius, you know, we have created one place for Lord Shiva, and there is a pond, and they have brought water from Ganga, and they have put Ganga in this pond. And from childhood, I know, isn't it, Indira Rana? From childhood, all the Indians, they walk. They just walk. I've never walked, but all the Indians, all the Hindus, they will walk, I don't know how many kilometers. And that place, it's on a peak, it's on a height. It's on a height. And it's always raining and raining and raining. Now maybe they built up more, but at one time it used to be just so muddy. So muddy. And we will go and do book distribution. The Hare Krishna devotees means prasad distribution and book distribution. Right? And the pilgrims will just come, and it's so natural in them. You can't stop them. Even there is warning, cyclone warning, right? Still you find people. It doesn't matter, cyclone warning, and then you find people going up for this pilgrimage. And it's something that they have created because they come from Indian background, as Prabhupada said. Wherever you find Indians, there has to be temples. So Mauritians are exported to Indians, right? From India, they were exported all around the world. So here you are in a tiny island, they created their Ganga Talab. And they celebrate all these festivals. So here Prabhupada is saying that they are so pious that even when imitation incarnations come to speak, people gather in their thousands. They're innocent. They don't know. The only thing that they are pious and they want to hear. So Prabhupada said because they have a natural spiritual inclination. So what is required is that they only need to be taught. They need a little more education in the Vedic principles. That's all. They need a little more education. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, oh my God. So Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that Janma Sartha Kari. First, you have to purify your own life. You need to learn and purify your own life. And when this is done, then you are able to preach to others. So, Janma Sarthaka Sa Artha. Artha means meaningful. There's a goal in your life. Sarthaka. Make your life meaningful. Kari. Kara. Para upakara. Do good for others. Right? I cannot just sit at home, you know, whatever I do, clean, wash, and watch TV. You know, if you're not going out to work. I can't do only this. And even if you're working, after some time, you become impatient. What am I doing? If your work doesn't allow you to meet people, doesn't allow you to do good for others, then you're bored. And you just want to get out from there. So life becomes definitely more interesting when you're able to give something to others. So do beneficial welfare activity for the entire world. Now Prabhupada is explaining. At present form, of Krishna consciousness or God consciousness. The entire world is in darkness, having been covered by the four principles of sinful life: meat eating, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex. Therefore, there is a need for vigorous propaganda to educate people to refrain from sinful activities. This will bring peace and prosperity. The rogues, thieves, and debauchees will naturally decrease in number, and all of human society will be God conscious. So there is a competition going on. On the one hand, those who are in charge, they're pulling people into sinful life. And Prabhupada is saying that no, we must make a vigorous propaganda to educate people to refrain from sinful activities. So that's why when we go, we do the Diksha vow. So when we take the Diksha vow, what are we doing? What are we saying? I'm not going to engage in sinful activities. So therefore, the more people come forward and take these vows that they will not engage in sinful activities, and for them to get the strength to abide by this vow, they should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? And they should read the books, and they should preach. They should do all this. This is very, very scientific. Now Prabhupada is saying, the practical effect of our spreading the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world is that now the most degraded devotees are becoming the most elevated saints. Jagai and Madai are becoming great Vaishnavas. This is only one Indian's humble service to the world. If all Indians had taken to this path, as advised by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, India would have given a unique gift to the world, and thus India would have been glorified. Now, however, India is known as a poverty-stricken country. And whenever anyone from America or another opulent country goes to India, he sees many people lying on the footpath for whom there are not even provision for 2 meals a day. So that was the situation in India 50, 60 years ago. This has decreased, isn't it? Is it true? Has decreased. People on the footpath, I don't see many of them anymore. Street people. Is it true? Are there? So they are there because of sinful activities, right? Are also institutions collecting money from all parts of the world in the name of welfare activities for poverty-stricken people, but they're spending it for their own sense of gratification. So in the name of welfare activities, what they do, they steal that money. Now, under order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Krishna consciousness movement has been started and people are benefiting from this movement. Therefore, it is now the duty of the leading men of India to consider the importance of this movement and train many Indians to go outside of India to preach this cult. So I remember I asked this very, very big donor, very, very big donor. So I asked him, what do you donate? Year after year, I see you're donating. Why did you donate to ISKCON? Because I know this, that people misappropriate money, right? So I asked him, why do you donate? Every year you're donating by lakh and lakh and lakh. So why are you donating? So he told me one very simple thing. He says, because in front of my eyes, I see you spending it in Krishna's service. Right? So you are using, so I'm saying you're using Krishna's service. You're not putting in your pockets. It is now the duty of the leading men of India to consider the importance of this movement and train many Indians to go outside of India to preach this cult. So Prabhupada wanted many Indians to go out from India and go in the world and preach this cult. People will accept it. There will be cooperation among the Indian people and among the other people of the world. And the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will then be fulfilled. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will then be glorified all over the world. And people will naturally be happy, peaceful, prosperous, not only in this life, but also in the next. So remember all our Diwali greetings, right? May you live in peace, happiness, prosperous, right? Right? This is how we greet. And Prabhupada is saying that if you are sinful, how can you be peaceful and prosperous? Right? Whereas if you follow, you give up sinful activity, then you can be happy, peaceful, and prosperous. And therefore, Prabhupada is saying that we must educate people in this science. So for us stated in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone who understands Krishna, the Supreme Person Godhead, will very easily get salvation or freedom from the repetition of birth and death and go back home, back to Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore requests every Indian to become a preacher of his cult to save the world from disastrous confusion. So now, how is it that the population of the world is increasing every year, going increasing and increasing and increasing? So Prabhupada answers that because people are doing sinful activity, therefore they don't graduate out. They don't graduate out, so they have to repeat the same class again and again and again until they pass. This is not only the duty of Indians. Now Prabhupada says something more. This is not only the duty of the Indians, but the duty of everyone. And we are very happy that American and European boys and girls are seriously cooperating with this movement. One should know definitely that the best welfare activity for all of human society is to awaken men's God consciousness or Krishna consciousness. Therefore, everyone should help this great movement. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, 22nd chapter and verse 35, which is next quoted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Let us see what's the verse. You have a book? You just listen. Janma Safalyam Mehadehishu Ranera Shikam
Hare Krishna, Siri. There's a problem with your audio. Oh, she's frozen. My God. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Right. Yeah. So Anupama, can you read text 43?
Yes, Mataji. Text 42, na? Because you read 42 now. Or
Oh,
yes,
okay. I was reading 41, so 42. Okay.
purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. There are two kinds of general activities: shreyas, or activities were ultimately beneficial and auspicious, and prayers, or those which are immediately beneficial and auspicious. For example, children are fond of playing. They do not want to go to school to receive an education, and they think that to play all day and night and enjoy with their friends is the aim of life. Even in the transcendental life of Lord Krishna, we find that when he was a child, he was very fond of playing with his friends of the same age, the cowherd boys. He would not even go home to take his dinner. Mother Yashoda would have to come out to induce him to come home. Thus, it is a child's nature to engage all day and night in playing, not caring even for his health and other important concerns. This is an example of prayers or immediately beneficial activities. But they are also shreyas, so activities which are ultimately auspicious. According to Vedic civilization, a human being must be God conscious. He should understand what God is, what this material world is, who he is, and what their relationships are. This is called shreyas or ultimately auspicious activity. In this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that one should be interested in shreyas. To achieve the ultimate goal of shreyas or good for fortune, one should engage everything, including his life, wealth, and words, not only for himself but for others also. However, unless one is interested in shreyas in his own life, he cannot preach of shreyas for the benefit of others. This verse cited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu applies to human beings, not to animals. As indicated in the previous verse by the words Manushya Janama, these injunctions are for human beings. Unfortunately, human beings, although they have the bodies of men, are becoming less than animals in their behavior. That is the fault of modern education. Modern educators do not know the aim of human life. They are simply concerned with how to develop the economic condition of their countries or of human society. This is also necessary. The Vedic civilization considers all aspects of human life, including dharma, religion, artha, economic development, kama, sense gratification, and moksha, liberation. But humanity's first concern should be religion. To be religious, one must abide by the orders of God. But unfortunately, people in this age have rejected religion and they are busy in economic development. Therefore, they will adopt any means to get money. For economic development, one does not need to get money by hook or by crook. One needs only sufficient money to maintain his body and soul. However, because of modern economic development is going on with no religious background, people have become lusty, greedy, and mad after money. They are simply developing the qualities of rajas, passion, and tamas, ignorance, neglecting the other quality of nature, sattva, goodness, and the brahmanical qualifications. Therefore, the entire society is in chaos. The Bhagavatam says that it is the duty of an advanced human being to act in such a way as to facilitate human society's attainment of the ultimate goal of life. There is a similar verse in the Vishnu Puran, part 3, chapter 12, verse 45, which is next quoted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hare Krishna.
Last week also. So I think this is clear. The text 43. Tanenam paparaya yadeveha paratracha karmana manasadacha tadeva matimam bhajet. Yeah, Indira Radha.
Yeah, thank you, Hare Krishna. By his work, thoughts, and words, an intelligent man must perform actions which will be beneficial for all living entities in this life and the next. Purport. Unfortunately, people in general do not know what is to take place in the next life. To prepare oneself for his next life is common sense, and it is the principle of the Vedic civilization. But presently, people throughout the world do not believe in a next life. Even influential professors and other educators say that as soon as the body is finished, everything is finished. This atheistic philosophy is killing human civilization. People are irresponsibly performing all sorts of sinful activities, and thus the privilege of the human life is being taken away by the educational propaganda of the so-called leaders. Actually, it is a fact that this life is meant for preparation for the next life. By evolution, one has come through many species or forms, and this or human form of life is an opportunity to promote oneself to a better life. This is explained in the Bhagavad Gita 9, text 25. Yanti deva vrata devan pitrin yanti pitri vrataha bhutani yanti bhutecha yanti madhyajino pi mam. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. Those who worship ancestors go to the ancestors, and those who worship me will live with me. Therefore, one may promote himself to the higher planetary system, which are the residents of the demigods. One can promote himself to Pitrilo. One can remain on earth, or one can also go back home, back to Godhead. This is further confirmed elsewhere in the Bhagavad Gita 4:9. Chaktava deham punarjanma naiti mamiti so Arjuna. After giving up the body, one who knows Krishna in truth does not come back again to this world to accept a material body, but he goes back home, back to Godhead. This knowledge is in the Shastras, and people should be given the opportunity to understand it. Even if one is not able to go back to Godhead in one life, the Vedic civilization at least gives one the opportunity to be promoted to the higher planetary system where the demigods live and not glide down to animal life. At present, people do not understand this knowledge, although it constitutes a great science for the uneducated and trained not to accept it. This is the horrible condition of modern human society. As such, the Krishna consciousness movement is the only hope to direct the attention of intelligent men to a greater benefit in life. Jai.
Text 44. Bali Manishyamara Rajadhanam Halapula Diya Kari Punya Uparjana. Shishi, you want to read?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I am merely a gardener. I have neither a kingdom nor very great riches. I simply have some fruits and flowers that I wish to utilize to achieve piety in my life. Purport. In performing welfare activities for human society, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu presents himself as being not very rich, thus indicating that a man need not be rich or opulent to act for the welfare of humanity. Sometimes rich men are very proud that they can perform beneficial activities for human society, whereas others cannot. A practical example is that when there is a scarcity of food in India on account of meager rainfall, some members of the richer class very proudly distribute foodstuffs, making huge arrangements with the help of the government, as if merely by such activities people will be benefited. Suppose there were no food grain, how would the rich man distribute food? Production of grain is completely in the hands of God. If there is no rain, there would be no grain, and these so-called rich men would be unable to distribute grain to the people. The real purpose of life, therefore, is to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Rupa Goswami describes in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that devotional service is so exalted that it is beneficial and auspicious for every man. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also declared that to propagate the bhakti cult of devotional service in human society, one does not need to be very rich. Anyone who knows the art can do it and thus render the highest benefit to humanity. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes the part of a gardener because although a gardener is naturally not a very rich man, he has some fruits and flowers. Any man can collect some flowers and fruits and satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead in devotional service, as the Lord recommends in Bhagavad Gita 9.26. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prajati tad aham bhaktiye upraham asnami prayat mana. One cannot satisfy the Supreme Lord by his riches, wealth, or opulent position, but anyone can collect a little fruit or a flower and offer it to the Lord. The Lord says that if one brings such an offering in devotion, he will accept it and eat it. When Krishna eats, the entire world becomes satisfied. There's a story in Mahabharata illustrating how by Krishna's eating, the 60,000 disciples of Durvasha Muni were all satisfied. Therefore, it's a fact that if by our life, prana, by our wealth, artha, by our intelligence, adya, and by our words, vacha, we can satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, naturally the entire world will become happy. Therefore, our main duty to satisfy the Supreme Godhead by our actions, our money, and our words. This is very simple. If one does not have money, he can preach the Hare Krishna mantra to everyone. One can go everywhere, to every home, and request everyone to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Thus, the entire world situation will become very happy and peaceful. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada is just making a very simple point that all the goodies of life, when there's no problem, it's not that we should live in poverty, right? It's not that we should just be, everybody should be poor. No. Prabhupada is saying that artha is all right, but artha without Krishna is not right. Because if there is no Krishna in this endeavor for artha, we become lusty, greedy, angry, and we want more and more, and we create so much havoc for others and for ourselves. Right? So this is the first point. And then here, saying that it's not that unless I am rich, I cannot satisfy the Supreme Lord. And the example is given that even with one morsel, one grain, right? One grain, Draupadi satisfied Krishna. And when Krishna was satisfied, 60,000 disciples became belly full, right? So, meaning it's not a question of being rich or being poor. It's a question of satisfying the Supreme Lord. So, that's how we run. Our whole ISKCON organization is running on this principle. It doesn't matter who you are. Text 25. Malihana vrikshahailan eta ichate sarva pranira upakara hai vriksha. Although I'm acting as a gardener, I also want to be the tree. For thus I can bestow benefit upon all. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most benevolent personality in human society because his only desires to make people happy. His Sankirtan movement is specially meant for the purpose of making people happy. He wanted to become the tree himself because a tree is said to be the most benevolent living entity. In the following verse, which is from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.23.33, Krishna himself highly praises the existence of a tree. So, this chanting of Hare Krishna. So, previously, everybody will get up early in the morning and they will do some puja home. And regularly they will do puja, but gradually, because they are working so much, and then they sleep so late, and then they start engaging in all types of sinful activities. So they give up all types of practices. And they forget also, I think all of us know this. What am I doing in this Hare Krishna movement? Because I have no idea at all how to pray. What am I supposed to do? I want to be religious. I want to follow some path. I not the slightest idea what to do. So when we came to ISKCON, then very systematically we were taught, and very simple, chant Hare Krishna. So this is a yagya. So that's all. That's all. It's the only thing that everybody should do, should chant Hare Krishna. It make up for all the other processes that we are supposed to do, then which we are not doing anymore. That's all. Text 45. Malihano vriksha hailan eta ichate sarva prani.
Mataji, you did it.
Sorry?
46. You completed it.
Oh, okay. 46. Yes. So now Mahaprabhu is praising the existence of a tree. Ahoy Shambharam Janma Sarva Pranyo Pajivinam Sujana Seva Yeshamve Vimukhayanti Pinaha. Just see how these trees are maintaining every living entity. Their birth is successful. Their behavior is just like that of great personalities. For anyone who asks anything from a tree never goes away disappointed. See the value of a tree. According to Vedic civilization, Kshatriyas are considered to be great personalities, because if anyone goes to a Kshatriya king to ask for charity, the king will never refuse. So if you need land, they will give you land. If you need cows, they will give you cows. Things. You need health, they will provide welfare, your health program. The trees are compared to those noble Kshatriyas because everyone derives all kinds of benefits from them. Some people take fruit, others take flowers, others take leaves, others take twigs, and others even cut the tree. And yet the tree gives to everyone without hesitation, doesn't protest. Now Prabhupada is saying, unnecessarily cutting trees without consideration is another example of human debauchery. The paper industry cuts many hundreds and thousands of trees for its mills. And with the paper, so much rubbish literature is published for the whimsical satisfaction of human society. Unfortunately, although these industrialists are now happy in this life by dint of the industrial development, they do not know that they will incur the responsibility for killing these living entities who are in the form of trees. You know what paper, or tissue paper also, or toilet paper, right? Can you imagine you kill an animal just to wash your behind, right? So this is sinful. This verse quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Lord Krishna to his friends when he was taking rest underneath a tree after his pastime of stealing the clothes of the gopis. Vastara Haran lila. By quoting this verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us that we should be tolerant like trees and also beneficial like trees, which give everything to the needy persons who come underneath them. A needy person may derive many advantages from trees and also from many animals. But in modern civilization, people have become so ungrateful that they exploit the trees and animals and kill them. These are some of the sinful activities of modern civilization. Text 47.
Siri, but it's not a good.
Hmm? Sorry, I can't hear you. Indira Radha, I can't hear you. Oh God, am I frozen?
Radha Mataji.
Let's try again. Not coming? Okay, we'll try. Okay. So text 47. Eyagya Kailaya Chaitanya Malaka Paramananda Pehla Vriksha Parivar. Anand Amrita Radhe, are you able to read?
Translation: Descendants of the tree of Sri were very glad to receive the order directly from God. Purport: It is the desire of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that the benevolent action was inaugurated 500 years ago.
Oh, your voice
All
is
over.
breaking. Your voice is
Oh,
breaking.
sorry. Okay, sorry, Mataji. Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Be, s- um be spread all over the world for the benefit of all human beings. Unfortunately, there are many so-called followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who are satisfied simply to construct a temple, make a show of the deities, collect some funds, and utilize them for eating and sleeping. There is no question of their preaching the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. But even though they are unable to do so, if anyone else does it, they become envious. This is the condition of the modern followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The age of Kali is so strong that it affects even the so called followers of Lord Chaitanya. At least the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must come out of India to preach his cult all over the world, for this is the mission of Lord Chaitanya. The followers of Lord Chaitanya must execute his will with heart and soul, being more tolerant than the trees and humbler than the straw in the street.
Yep. So that's clear. Text 48. Text 48. Who wants to read? Madhuri? Madhuri Mamtamai, are you able to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I will not be able to read.
Okay. Anupama?
Hare Krishna, Siri.
Okay, yes. Indira.
I had a problem with audio just now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make the point. When you are born a tree, it's not considered to be very auspicious, is it? I mean, like the Arjun trees, you remember? They were
Yeah.
cursed by
Yeah. Yeah.
Narad. So here they are glorified as trees. The trees are being glorified.
Oh, yeah, yes. Because of the quality, actually, even if Python is glorified, right? Even the
Yeah,
Python
true.
is glorified because actually it's learning from nature. This is one of the qualities of a Vaishnava. He's able to learn the best lessons from anyone. Even Pingala. Pingala is a prostitute, right? So lessons is learned even from Pingala. So, yeah. Okay, text 48. Who's reading? Anupama?
Yata dana kare prema phala, phala swada mataloka haila shakala. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. The fruit of love of God is so delicious that wherever a devotee
Your
distributes,
voice is breaking.
is a
Anupama, your voice is breaking. Is it that
fruit of love of God is so delicious that wherever a devotee distributes it, those who relish the fruit anywhere in the world immediately become intoxicated. Purport. Here, the wonderful fruit of love of Godhead distributed by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described. We have practical experience that anyone who accepts this fruit and sincerely tastes it immediately becomes mad after it and gives up all his bad habits, being intoxicated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gift, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The statements of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita are so practical that anyone can test them. As far as we are concerned, we are most confident of the success of the distribution of the great fruit of love of Godhead through the medium of chanting the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shikala, read this one. It's short.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. महामादक प्रेम फल पेट भरी खाय मातीला सकल लोक हासे नाचे गाय श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु द्वारा वितरित भगवत प्रेम रूपी फल इतना मादक है कि जो भी पेट भर खाता है वह तुरंत ही उससे उन्मत्त हो जाता है और स्वतः ही कीर्तन करता, नाचता, हंसता और आनंद लेता है. हरे कृष्ण. थैंक यू.
50. Shashi, you want to read?
कही गदा गदी याहै केता हुंकारा देखी आनंदिता हना हासा माला कारा. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the great gardener, sees that people are chanting, dancing and laughing, and that some of them are rolling on the floor and some are making loud humming sounds, he smiles with great pleasure. This attitude of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very important for persons engaged in the Hare Krishna movement of Krishna consciousness. In every center of our institution, ISKCON, we have arranged for a love feast every Sunday. And when we actually see people come to our center, chant, dance, and take prasadam, become jubilant and purchase books, we know that certainly Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always present in such transcendental activities. And he is very pleased and satisfied. Therefore, the members of ISKCON must increase this movement more and more, according to the principles that we are presently trying to execute. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, thus being pleased, will smilingly glance upon them, bestowing his favor, and the movement will be successful. Hare Krishna. Mataji, I should continue.
It's stop now.
Okay.
Your time is over.
Okay.
So anyway, we should keep up the attitude and whatever is being described here. So if we, say I was a Hare Krishna devotee, it shouldn't be like this. It should be that we stick to it. It's something very valuable. So, I don't know what happens. Maybe people come together and then they migrate to some other place. So they lose the connection and all this. But at all costs, we must never give up the chanting and the hearing, whether in this group or that group or this group or that, whatever. At any cost, we cannot give up the chanting and hearing, because that's what I'm experiencing over and over again. It's like a group forms and then disappears. Another one form disappears. Some people get left over. But the point is that wherever you are, you cannot give up Sangha. To give up Sangha, then you're finished. Because this material energy of meat eating, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex, they will pull us, and all its varieties will pull us down. So this is the main message. We may not be mad, intoxicated with love of Godhead, but at least if we're able to maintain, right, our four relative principles, and we able to maintain our vow to chant Hare Krishna. However many we are chanting, if we can take that vow and maintain it, then we are safe. As soon as we give up, then we will fall into adharma very quickly, very, very quickly. And therefore there is misery. All right, so Prabhupada is saying that people chant, dance, take prasadam, become jubilant, and purchase books. That certainly Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always present in such transcendental activities, and he's very pleased and satisfied. Therefore, the members of ISKCON must increase this movement more and more, according to the principle that we are presently trying to execute. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, thus being pleased, will smilingly glance upon them, bestowing his favor, and the movement will be successful. So if you're preaching and you have deities of Gaunitai, if you see your Gaunitai are smiling at you, you should know that you are doing well. All right? Very simple, very, very simple. Just check whether your Gaunitai are smiling.
I have a question. Can I ask? Or
Yeah, we are done now.
Mataji, my question is that there may be two parties in a group. Both of them probably have the desire to please Gaur Nitai. And but now one party, for example, would want a Kirtan Mela to be held in a yoga studio, while the other party wants it in a simpler location. Because there are some disadvantages in the yoga studio, while the number one thinks that there are disadvantages in simpler location. Also, there can be a bit of conflict. So why does this happen? Both these parties want to please God.
Very simple, very simple. One time having in your yoga studio, another time having in the simplest setting, right? To satisfy all the audience. If you want in a
Okay.
yoga, most probably is because it will attract a certain group of people. And you want it in a simpler setting because it's more pleasing to others. So having both places, what's the big deal? Why fight over nothing?
Okay. You're right, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Very, very simple, simple things.
Very
Yes,
good.
should know how to preach. See, we are preaching, we are bringing new people, but we also want to keep those who are already, who don't need, all the different types of attracting people who are more sober, more sadhvic, more, now they have actually entered the path of Krishna consciousness. So, like we hear that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he distributes, but he also relishes. So those who mostly want this more simple is because maybe they want to relish themselves. And if they want, it's not only for propagating. If everything is propagating, then you will die. So you should also be happy and relish the holy name in your own style. Yeah. Is it okay?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. It makes a lot of sense now. Thank you.
Patitanam pavanejyo Vaishnavim.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.